artist, you probably receive a lot of comments. Comments ranging from really positive ones like, oh my gosh, your art is so cute, or your art looks so good, I want to eat it. I love that one. That one always makes me laugh. But then you also get some funny ones, some real head scratchers, as we might need to revoke your internet access type questions. So let's delve into some annoying comments that people get for being artists. And again, please don't send hate to any parties involved. So a creator writes on Twitter, quote, "Stop putting my work through AI," end quote. "Sorry to burst your bubble, but I bought the artwork. Therefore, I could do whatever I want with it, especially when it was never stated in the TOS." That is a really interesting sentiment to have. Just because you buy something doesn't mean doing specific things to it makes it okay, first off. But also secondly, artwork has its own set of like rules and requirements, right? And like when you purchase artwork, you are purchasing the rights to use that piece essentially, but the original copyright of the art piece still belongs with the artist because they are the creator of the piece. You only own the copyright of that piece if you explicitly purchase it from the artist, which requires more money, right? There's different tiers that you can purchase. You can purchase artwork for personal use, which again, the artist retains the copyright. You can use it for whatever the artist defined personal use to be. Typically like, I don't know, a Twitter profile photo, a desktop wallpaper, something like that. Or you could purchase the artwork for commercial usage, where the artist owns the copyright, but you can use that art piece in means the artist allows you to, largely involving making money off of it, like putting it on merch, selling it as a mouse pad, etc. And then, again, like I said, there is purchasing the full copyright to the artwork, which now means the artist no longer owns the copyright to the work. The copyright now belongs to the person who purchased it, and they can do whatever they want with it. They own the copyright. So in this context, if this person purchased the artwork, but they didn't purchase the copyright to the artwork, they actually don't own the copyright. The artist does, which then brings the question of feeding this work to AI. In my opinion, in my interpretation of how previous US court cases have gone over the terms of copyright and AI, there was somebody who used a computer AI to generate a garden image and tried to copyright it, and he was denied. Or essentially the Supreme Court wouldn't listen to him, which essentially is a denial. So in this case, the US court is essentially saying that AI work is not copyrightable, but also because you don't own the copyright to the work, you can't be feeding it into AI. That's my interpretation of it. Now, even if it is a case where you own the copyright to the work, I would still argue that from like an ethical and moral standpoint, not cool to be doing that, where we could have a situation where like, are you technically correct? Possibly. In some situations, again, in this hypothetical where they own the copyright, but should you do it? Is the second question, right? We can make many arguments of it. You could go to McDonald's and go buy a burger. Sure, that's your burger. You could then, I don't know, go run it over with a car. Like, should you be throwing nuggets on the floor of the street and then running that over with your car? Probably not. Scratches my head a little bit. And people in the comments are really 50-50. A user writes, "If your only defense for something is, quote, it's legal, end quote, you have no defense." And I agree. Again, something could be technically legal and still really fucked up to do. Another person says, "Saying this while every big artist has the no AI stuff in their bio, playing dumb." Another person said, quote, "I can't wait to buy this artwork so I can put it through AI," end quote, is also a weird take. And there was somebody on the other person's side being like, well, she owns it, she's free to do whatever she wants with it. And again, I would still argue that that only applies depending on the context of your ownership, which would imply that you bought the copyright for it. But OP responds, "You guys are missing the point. If you want artists to work with you, don't be an ass and feed their art into AI. Just because the poster legally can doesn't mean morally she should." Next up, we have a user called Lemon Press Studio posting to Threads, writing, "Happy Tuesday to my fellow creative small business owners." And this is a sale from their Etsy shop where somebody left them a 3-star review for a blue hydrangea notepad for $7, writing, "I paid $16 for a small notepad, counting price and shipping, that I could have gotten at Target for $3. It's always one of my pet peeves, especially in the art place, when people equate one item of artwork that the artist made to something else that is mass marketed and mass produced available at stores, right? Like, oh, well, I could have bought this at Target for $3. I could have bought it at Dollar Tree for $1. Then go to Target, then go to Dollar Tree, bro. Like, you went to this artist's Etsy shop, you looked at the photo of the item, you purchased it, and you got exactly what you paid for. You fully consented in every step of the process, including for the price, because you saw that price and you were okay with it to pay it. So then don't come on the internet bitching and moaning about the price later, because you paid it knowing this was the cost. Hello? And this is just so rude. And OP writes, I looked it up and the customer paid $12.90, so they were also wrong. The top comment says, then why didn't you go to Target, random person? I don't understand how people say things like this when they're the one who made the choice to buy from a small business at small business prices. And OP says, exactly. The price, photos, and description are all there. I don't know what else they wanted. Another commenter says, wow, I can't believe you forced them to buy it. And OP says, right, I'm the worst. Another person writes, I've had a similar situation, but it confuses me because they knew the price when they were ordering. Why place the order if price is a problem? Baffling. And OP adds, right? And my price is competitive with other small businesses. It's not like it's exorbitantly high. And another user says, somebody left me a review recently for a pair of earrings that were too small. They chose the smallest size. And they said they were too expensive. They still chose to buy them and not to return them. The logic and accountability really aren't there sometimes. And OP says, accountability is a great term to use here. I used to own a small business where I sold like boba art, and the funniest thing for me was that like a lot of times when I ship products, people will be like, I didn't get it. Okay, but like the tracking says it's delivered, so I don't know what to tell you because like I sent it and it said it arrived. And they're like, oh, but I looked and it's not there. And I'm like, dude, I'm so sorry that you can't find it. I don't know what to tell you. Have you contacted UPS? Here's their phone number. And they're like, send me another one because I didn't get it. And I'm like, dude, the tracking says it arrived. Next up, we have this account who is a crochet artist based in India. And they have a funny post of some DMs that they've gotten. And as a creator, you get some real funny DMs. So one person writes, I love the yarn you use. Can you buy me some? I'll send you the money. Haha. How do you expect OP to give you the yarn? Mail it to you? I mean, maybe they could give you a link to the yarn. Another person says, you are pretty mean for not helping me with the yarn question. I hope your business fails miserably. You can't even help a fellow person, you jealous bitch. That's interesting. I mean, hey, it's fair if you have a question to try to ask the creator your question, but the creator is not also entitled to give you a response at the end of the day because they're a human being and they probably get a lot of DMs, you know? Like, they can't answer every question of yours. Hopefully they can, but you know, they're not entitled nor expected to. There's no reason to be absolutely mean here. How much do you charge for this kind of plushie? Somebody inquired me about it, but they didn't want to buy from you because they thought it was going to be too expensive. Let me know, please. This is just a really weird statement. I feel like sometimes when people send DMs, like, I don't know if they're bots or like they just didn't read the message before they hit send. You know what I mean? Because like, if you read what you typed out, wouldn't you realize that like that sounds a little fucked up? If that genuinely is the scenario, it's fine. You know, everyone has their own budget. You could just ask like, hey, how much is this plushie? You don't have to say the extra stuff. Another person writes, hi, I'm a small business owner and I have no product photos to showcase on my page. I would like for you to permit me to use your photos, hoping it's a yes. And OP responds, no. I mean, at least they had the audacity to ask because some people rip photos without asking, but like, that's still absurd. I also had that happen to me, by the way. Like when I had my little small boba keychain business, whatever, like people would just rip my pictures sometimes and I'm just like scratching my head. Hey man, that's my hand. And they would fight me about it. They'd be like, no, it's my picture. And I'm like, at the time I had like really long acrylic nails, different set every single month type beat. And I was like, here's a picture of me with the nails. That's not your hand. Take that picture down. Next up, this is posted to Threads by user Nico-sama, writing, I know I made this drawing service with a pay what you want concept, mainly just for fun and to keep myself busy while manning my booth. Of course, the effort I put into it is adjusted accordingly, since if you want something more polished and detailed, I have my regular commission service for that. But still, with what I was paid for this, was my drawing really that bad? It honestly makes me feel like I should stop doing this altogether. And not everyone paid that amount though. There are also one or two people who paid quite generously. So this is an example of their drawing service. These are some of the artworks. This is really cute. And this is one of the transactions where somebody paid them 5,000 Indonesian rupiahs, which it's like 28 cents. I know conversion rates are different and that like in different countries, right? Like certain dollar amounts go further, but 28 cents seems really low, like really, really, really low. And a commenter says, unfortunately, there are more people willing to take advantage of an artist than there are willing to pay them fairly. And another commenter says, if you're giving something away for free, then it would be better to ask to pay whatever they want. Next time, just do a base price and ask for tips. Yeah, I definitely think it's a tricky situation, right? Because like people will make the argument, oh, but like if you say pay what you want, it's literally pay what you want. But also there is the whole side of like, hey, but like, come on, let's run a little bit of numbers in our head and like 28 cents for a drawing is like ridiculously low. So, I mean, like, sure, I guess literally it's pay what you want, but maybe let's use a little bit more critical thinking skills here. But at the end of the day, you know, it kind of sucks because it's like, oh, well, if you think that the bare minimum you should be paid for your effort is this amount, then you can make a like this much money or more type situation. But I see what OP was going for, and it kind of ruins the fun of it. It's fun, pay what you want, just a vibe to like kill some time while you're at your booth. So it's a tricky situation all around. It's not as fun if it's a pay this much or more. Right. But it definitely is tricky because if you do put the pay what you want, it kind of is a situation where like people are going to put the number that they want and you might not like that number. And I don't think it's fair to be putting a super low number, but there's going to be people who will. Next up, a user KAME Crochet writes, I still can't put my head around it. You steal and sell somebody else's patterns without permission. You get multiple copyright claims, rightfully so. Your Etsy shop is permanently suspended. You deserved it. And then you asked me, the designer, to withdraw the claim. That's an interesting strategy. So this is an email. The person writes, hi, my name is Rehab and I'm the owner of the Etsy shop Tiny Twist Crochet. I'm ready to sincerely apologize for using and selling one of your crochet patterns without your permission. I fully acknowledge that this was my mistake and I take complete responsibility for my actions. I've permanently removed the infringing listing and have reviewed my entire shop to ensure I only offer original designs, blah, 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 blah. But Etsy has permanently suspended my shop. Etsy informed me that if a copyright owner chooses to withdraw a copyright claim, they may do so by emailing legal Etsy. I understand you're in no obligation to do this, blah, 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 blah. Dude, I feel like this is the most chat GPT response because I feel like I've read this like 3 times already. This is the MO of these scam companies where they will steal like digital products. So like crochet patterns or whatever, list them all on their shop. And then they just sell the stolen goods until they get caught. And then they send this chat GPT email to whomever's work they stole so that they can get their account relisted. They don't care. They're not actually sorry that they stole your work. If they truly were, they would have taken it down beforehand. They would have taken it down before Etsy struck them on the head with the hammer. And the top comment says, translation services. Quote, you rightly caught me, but your claim has made it hard for me to steal from others, end quote. And OP says, haha, funny but true. And they respond, I read one of these scammers use the argument, this is my livelihood, to try to remove the claims. Their entire shop was stolen designs, but shutting them down was somehow worse than their blatant theft. And another person says, quote, have reviewed my entire shop, end quote, as a result of several copyright claims. That tells you it's about more than one pattern. It's a habit. And OP says, of course. Also, he says he removed the listing. No, Etsy did it as I filed a copyright infringement claim. And another person says, I swear the thieves all use this template when caught. Sometimes it changes to, quote, I am a single mother, end quote, sad story. I've gotten them for years. I hit block and ignore. At some point, they'll file a counter. I've had that story, by the way. I have an Etsy shop where I sell digital goods like Twitch emotes and stuff. And there was one time this like person traced all my emotes and was using it on their own Twitch stream and stuff like that. And then I was like, dude, like, can you just take it down? And then they were like, no, well, I didn't trace it. My mod traced it. And I was like, okay, but like, can you take it down? It's traced. And they were like, no, but I'm a single mother. I can't make money on Twitch if I don't have emotes. Boo-hoo, let me keep it. And I was like, dude, no. I don't care if you're a single mother. That doesn't make it okay for you to go trace other people's shit and put it on your own stuff. Okay, don't do that. Not cool. Love single mothers. You guys are doing a hard job, but like it does not excuse theft of other stuff. Stuff that you don't need, mind you, okay? Like if you need baby formula, but you don't need Twitch emotes. You will not starve without them. Okay, take them down. And we have a post about the same topic in r/artist lounge titled, what's the worst thing you've been told as an artist? I'll go first, and most of these are from family members. Quote, artists only become famous after they die. Comics can't be a real career. You're not a real artist. You want to draw for a living? That's cute. Dude, these suck, and I'm so sorry to this person for having to even hear these, but having your family members especially say these demeaning things to you, it's so annoying. I always hate when people belittle artists as a career or art as a career because it's like, oh, you're not going to make money as an artist. Dude, let's be real. A lot of jobs don't pay very well, if at all, and a lot of people are not getting paid money they deserve. Teachers are the first thing that comes to mind for that regard, right? But I feel like for some reason, if it comes to art, everyone feels like an entitlement to like belittle it. Quote, I'm not paying that much for that, end quote. Like, thanks, you old fart, but I wasn't asking. Move along. What was I gonna do? Drop my price? Some people are just nasty. And that's the thing, right? You can look at something and be like, okay, this is out of my budget. You then need to take the extra step and go out of their way to like tell this person to their face, hey, you're charging too much, fuck you. Like, come on, man, don't do that. Another commenter says, I'm a stained glass artist, and one of the worst things I was told was, quote, why would anybody pay for that? You can just buy a window at the store, end quote. Like, they completely missed the point that stained glass is art, not some random window you pick up at Home Depot. It stung because I put hours into each piece, and hearing it reduced to just glass was rough. Another person adds, that's AI. I've been getting that one a lot lately, even though my style looks absolutely nothing like AI. Ugh. That one's super annoying, and I feel like it's so frequent now because of the rise of Gen AI. Another user writes a couple examples. At a convention with my art on display, quote, "Oh, you drew this? I thought you just printed out examples from other people's work. How even? Why would I pay so much for a table to print out examples?" Quote, "You should make stuff people actually like," end quote. Ooh, okay, that one's icky. At another con sitting with my masked partner. "Oh, he's not the artist? Sorry, I'll pass." These are all so rude. I feel like a lot of people lose a lot of decorum nowadays. Telling the artist to their face again, "Hey, your art's really expensive. You don't need to do that." I do think that, like, hey, you only wanted to buy art from like mask presenting people. Come on, don't be weird, bro. Right? If you like the art, like, what does the identity or the presentation of the artist have to do with the art? Okay, but I know we've had a whole bunch of doom and gloom, so I just want to share with you like the funniest video that was going viral on Twitter. So this is the video and it's posted by a user who writes, "I just found my savior," and it's a repost of a video. So this was posted to a TikTok account called 小红书 art, and 小红书 is like little red note. It's like Chinese is like Pinterest, but I don't think that's like the original account. The original account is an account that goes by the name of 睡醒就画画, or like the moment you wake up, I'm just gonna draw.
我们先画一个躯干，然后放入一个馒头。聪明的你有没有发现一块胸肌就出来了？
Like her evil maniacal laughter is so funny. Basically, she said like the first draw a torso and then we're gonna put a bun here and then resize it and you already have like one pec.
聪明的你不小心一手滑，继续把馒头复制粘贴，把另一边胸肌也贴出来了。
And then she's like, "I'll slide your head a little bit, and then, you know, with some readjustments, you can get the second one."
细心的你还分出了腹肌的大小结构，出于谨慎，你还用液化将腹肌调整了一下。你真是一个天才啊！居然可以
And
想
then
到那
adjust it a
么
little
滑。
bit.
你觉得还不够？把所有馒头涂层合并，然后降低涂层透明度，开始光线。
Like adjust it, paint over a little bit, lower the opacity, and then
你真的是太厉害了，你就是绘画界的小天才。天哪，你太聪明了！瞬间一个栩栩如生的美男就出现在了你面前。
I love the laughter so much. It's so funny. So yeah, I'll have a link down below if you want. They have a bunch of other art videos as well. And like all the artists will be linked down below. But I just wanted to end it on this because this was so funny and it was going viral. So it's just silly, man. There were some people leaving some dumb comments. It's a silly little video. Have fun with those silly little videos, man. It's just a little hee-hee. Some people were commenting like, "Oh, it's not pure anatomy, whatever." Come on, guys. This is for laughs. This is for laughs, okay? Like, if it works for you, it works for you, man. But can't we just laugh about something and not think too deeply about it? Anyways, if you like this video, I appreciate it if you like and subscribe. If somebody has left some funny comments to you, I would like to hear it. Let me know in the comment section down below. But keep doing you. Keep making your art. Human art is beautiful. And don't listen to people who are being mean. Yeah, check me out on Etsy. I also have a coffee with free resources. I am trying to get my Instagram to 100K, so if you want to follow me there, it would mean a lot. And I stream on Twitch 3 days a week, Mondays, Saturdays at 6 p.m. PST, or Thursdays at 7:30, where I do a podcast with my friend. So I'll have to catch y'all there or in another video. Peace!